This is a solid banger, a 3-in-1. We have 3 short pieces, and I just stuck them all together just to deliver them to you because people say y'all like longer pieces. So it's longer, just different stories. So hopefully you guys like that. If you just let me know in the comment section below at the end of the video if you guys like it or not. This is the first piece, okay? Xianyan writes, still in shock seeing somebody shamelessly cut a portion of my rendered hair and slap it onto theirs. So baffling. The right one is my art. This is wild. Let's just take a look at this. The curve up here, right? That is featured here. We have the bends here. That's also featured. The bend down here, the color palette is exactly the same. We have the bend here, right? The zigzag in the middle, and then the bend on the bottom. Even this strand here, right? You see this gray with the kind of like pointed gray area that's here. They just cut this entire chunk out and slapped it onto their model. We have seen a lot of things. We have seen art theft. We've seen tracing. We've seen heavy referencing, postcard, whatever. This is like the first time we've seen copy and paste, cut. Give me that. Like, I look again, they haven't showed the entirety of this other model they're showing. Can we just acknowledge how like look at this puff on Cian's art, right? This little puff here. What? There's one here too. On this model, there's also a little like white fluff thing going on. Is this like I'm guessing this is like a cat ear, right? With like a little fluff in it. Yeah, they saw the art style, they're like, gimme, literally. They just took it. Sorry, I know I'm joking about it, trying to make light of the scenario, but this is violating, you know? Like, as an artist, this must feel so gross to see all of a sudden, wait, a copy and paste of your art on somebody else? I am so sorry to Cian. Oh my god. And you can see in the comments, Cian writes, like, damn, I don't even know what to feel. Shio comments, wait, OMG, that's insane. I'm so sorry they did that. And Cian says, it's been hours and I'm still in shock. Oh, they name dropped. Wait, I didn't even realize there's a name drop here. Hold up. Let me see. Yeah, they copied the shading. I'm like looking though. I don't see a VTuber model of them. Did they delete it? Their account is really new. Or like small, sorry. Yeah, is it gone? Are they just deleting it and pretending it never happened? So I'm not sure how to read their name. I'm gonna call them Mimi. But they write, who is this so I can block? Now, Cian name dropped them, writing Neptune Neo. And Mimi says, thank you. So I tried to like snoop a little bit to find the original arts. I can't find it. Like the one of the model. I think it's deleted now because I went to their page, which doesn't have like very much art on it. There's like basically nothing. They have a VGem with a portfolio, right? We can see some example artworks here. They also have their portfolio as well. And I can't see the model. So I think it's just deleted now. That's my guess, right? But Scrap Scruff had grabbed this screenshot writing, oh wow, I'm sorry this happened. It's also so clearly liquefied. Like, I think they stole maybe more and used the liquefy tool to make it fit. This is so weird. And here, another screenshot of a different part of the model where we can see, you know, some maybe aspects of the hair that could have been stolen. So it's weird. They so far haven't left any comments or anything though. The final thing they have is their new banner that they dropped and no mention of the alleged copy and pasting of the hair, which looks way too similar. Like, come on. Again, the right is the one that was made by Cian. Copying and pasting somebody else's art onto your art is diabolical. Diabolical. But yeah, Cian's art is really pretty though. Dude, their art is so yummy looking. Like, look how pretty their art is. Look at the art. Look at the art. Their art is so good. So yeah, go check them out. They deserve it. Their art is fucking amazing. Don't copy and paste other people's art. Just learn to render yourself, guys. Come on, please. But that was the first piece that we kind of had to talk about. So then we have a series of posts made by this artist who goes by the Twitter handle Chewer, who goes by the name Chew. So they have this post writing, hello, this is me and I want to show you my art for as long as I live. Then they made another post 2 years later writing, my heart condition is gonna be gone soon. I made a promise. I will defy death to fulfill said promise. Then Chu makes this post writing, it's over. It will be empty forever, holding a pill bottle. And this post also went viral. It was on my page as well, my For You page. And then they added this post. Now the bad news. Cost to live. My heart condition is really gone. I don't have to take pills anymore to keep me alive. I thank everyone for all the emotional support that kept me strong. Though I was ready for the bad news, I am now in medical debt, meaning all the therapy, doctor's appointments, and medication I've been through to get me as healthy as I am has now caught up to me. I opened up a plushie campaign hoping that it will succeed and make me enough to pay for said debt. If you're financially well, buying a plush would greatly help me pay said debt. And for those who aren't, spreading the campaign around will also help via reposting and retweeting. I hope this isn't too much to ask for. I really do appreciate everything all of you have said and done for me before this, but those times I hadn't asked for your support, and yet you gave it willingly. But this time I will ask for said support, hoping that you would do it again to me. Like, medical debt is the worst thing at the end of the day because it's literally like, you're just trying to live, bro, you know? And then God is like, about that. No, we're gonna make it hard. On the bright side, though, their Chuling plushie is 177% funded and is set to ship July 1st with 355 sales. So I'm glad it was fully funded. If you have the means to buy a plushie, or they also have a coffee. I'll have this all linked down in the comment section. So please go check it out. Show them some love, please. But unfortunately, it takes a turn for the worse. Because Chu put out this post, and this was February 20th, and Chu just writes, bro. And it's a comment from somebody writing, hey, I refunded the $500 tip on coffee after looking at your art, and I don't support the lesbian couple you make. And it's a PayPal screenshot minus $500. That is such a huge what the fuck. That is absolutely wild because, like, look, not only is this a donation to an artist that you're then taking away for homophobic reasons, okay, that's first. But secondly, this is to pay for this guy's medical bills. Nobody asked for a heart condition, right? They finally beat their heart condition. Now they're in medical debt. Any dollar probably is going to pay off that medical debt, any excess. So to donate $500 and then turn around and refund it because you're homophobic is crazy. That is such a big fuck you. Like, I'm literally at a loss of words right now. I feel so bad for Chu, man. Dukke, how could you donate that much without even knowing their content? That is also really true too, which is also very And here's what some commenters had to say, right? Where Sebastian Niana writes, how petty. Even if they dislike it, it would still help. Very heartless. And Dingus asks, why is there even an option to refund on coffee? There is a conspiracy theory. I don't know. This is what people on Twitter, I feel like always have this conspiracy theory though. So we have Maxi writing, drop the at though. Then I can't read any aspect of this person's name, but Cart says, it's fake to bait donos, there's no ads. And then Woke Otter says, that's a crazy accusation. And Mio says, how did you find that out? And Cart says, everything is conveniently cropped. Convenient timing. You don't give somebody $500 without knowing they post LGBT art. The message is worded hilariously too. Many times when people are the victim of something hateful, they do choose to redact the name of the perpetrator. And you might be like, why? Right? At the end of the day, it's up to the victim to decide whether they want to release the name or not. And they are entitled to the decision, whichever they decide, releasing it or not releasing it. So people will have their reasons, you know? So I just want you to keep that in mind. Is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. Right. If it is true, that is suspect as hell. Yeah, I also can't really trust people with usernames like that. I'm just gonna be real. I don't know. But I would say at the end of the day, look, rage bait or not, here we have the situation of an artist who unfortunately has a bunch of medical debt. So if it helped get eyes on the plushie campaign so that they can go fund it a little bit more to offset their medical debt, like, I'm not really mad about that. That's me personally, right? Personally. Allegedly, if it was rage bait. If it is true, that is fucked up as hell. And then we have the final piece, which is a really wholesome one as well. So we have this post by Vtuber artist Marsh Panda, who does character designs and Vtuber artist, and they have this post titled Some More Hair Cutting. This post went viral, 2.4k likes with 468,000 views. And this is their hair cutting. Look at that, the time, the detail, the effort. Then Vtuber Uninia reposted this, quote retweeted it, writing, this artist charges 500 euros for these models. This repost was today and it went viral, 12,000 likes, also 437k views. And then they attached the price sheets from Marsh, where you can see the full body is 500 plus euros. And everybody in the comment section is freaking out because they're like, dude, this is extremely affordable. And Ladell Yuli writes, Panda made my model design. She is such a lovely artist to work with. Sadly, in Germany, artists always underprice themselves because not a lot of people are willing to pay a lot for art. It's not wrong. It's $500 for a model like this is actually really cheap. That is cheap. So this is like a good thing. This is like a, hey, this artist is very, 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 very affordable. Panda put out this post writing, thank you all so much for your very kind support and words. After a bit of thought, I made an update to the prices. And they wrote, hi everyone, thank you all so much for the overwhelming positive feedback on my models and artworks. I'm honestly a bit flabbergasted by all the love. I've taken some time to think things over and chat with a few friends, and I've decided to raise my prices. Starting now, my prices for models will begin at 1,000 euros instead of 500. I know it's a big jump, but due to the time and effort that goes into creating the models and cutting them, I believe it's a fair starting point. I personally also agree. Panda continues, this change will allow me to focus on fewer projects, but dedicate dedicate more time to each one. Along with this, I will also be adjusting the prices for my illustrations and designs. Once again, thank you all for your incredible feedback. It really means a lot to me. I am still a bit in shock, but your support is truly appreciated. Since I've received quite a few commission requests already, I want to let you know that you can reach me much more easily via email at marshpanda@gmail.com. And if you'd like a price estimate or want to be notified when commissions reopen, feel free to get in touch with me there. As they should. Personally, I always love it when I see artists succeed. When I see artists getting so many commissions, so many interest, the public loves them to where they're able to raise their prices because we all know artists like historically undercharge. And again, right, I don't live in Germany. I do live in the US, but if I am throwing in my own personal 2 cents for what looks to be the quality you're gonna get from their art, 500 euros is cheap. Very, 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 very cheap. You are getting a steal. By cheap, I just mean like the price per hour of their labor is going to be really low, right? So I am so glad to see that this artist post went viral and they're able to raise their prices as a result. And Static as TPH, I always wonder why your model seems so cheap in terms of your asking price, but I never said anything because I don't know shit about what a model should cost. It just seemed like a low price. I hope you continue to see success in your model making. And Panda adds, it's scary to be honest, but I really wanted to try. Thank you so much. I hope so too. Yeah, I personally am really glad they're able to raise their prices. I always love to see it when artists are able to make more money off of their artwork and do what they love, which is their art. Like, it's just so wholesome. But yeah, here's like a closer work in progress where she's not just like pulling apart the pieces, but look at the level of detail you're getting. I would still say $1,000 is a steal for this. Just personally, right? Like me living in America, living in LA, so I am used to like higher prices from living here. But if you get a full body model like this, 1,000 is even kind of cheap for it, right? That's my personal opinion. Me at the end of the day. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Also, a lot of people who aren't VTubers, and I know I'm not one either, but I'm kind of familiar with some VTuber art, kind of how it goes. I've interviewed a bunch of VTubers on like the pricing of their model, stuff like that, to kind of get more insight, right? The biggest thing is, why are VTuber models so expensive? It is because they are extremely time consuming to make, very time consuming. Like, you are not just doing an illustration like this, which an illustration like this already would take a lot of time, right? This is all, again, Panda's work. But if you look here, right, this is Panda. All of the pieces need to be separatable. Like, you need to be able to pull them apart. And what that means is, if I pull one strand of the bang away, you need to be able to see what is beneath it. So, you know, you see how all these bang pieces were pulled away. You can still see the forehead here. And then there's still like shadow pieces too, right? You see how they're still pulling apart the hair and you can still see all the elements beneath it. Each individual like chunk of hair is individually rendered. So because of this, it is a lot more artwork than you would normally need to do for just an illustration, because there's all of these layers. And yeah, this is just the bangs. Can you imagine how the eyes look? How many layers the eyes have? How many layers the clothing has? So that is why they're so expensive. Models like this are like 80 to 100 hours. So if they were charging like 500 euros and it's like, it took them like 100 hours to make the model, we can run the numbers on how much hourly that breaks down to, right? Again, depends like kind of on the speed of the artist, but still like 80 hours could be like a rough estimate for how long a model like that would take. That's why it's expensive, because it takes a long time to make it. Sometimes people are like, oh, like that's so expensive, like it's just a piece of art. It's because every piece needs to be able to pull apart on its own. And like they need to be drawn in a specific way for it to be rigged properly. You can't just draw things in one way that you want it to look. Like, for example, if you're drawing like a hair strand, right, and you want the strand of hair to move, a lot of times you need to draw it like straighter than you kind of want it to be. It's easier to rig something straight to make a curve than to rig something curved and then make it straight most of the time. That's from my live 2D experience making animated emotes, okay? So you will have to draw it a little bit differently. And then sometimes if you make a VTuber model, you'll have to make additional artwork. And you're gonna be like, why? It's because you need to show the rigor, how the model's supposed to be rigged. Like, again, I'm talking about the hair, right? Like, you keep it straight and then they can bend it, but you kind of need to show the rigor how to do that. So you might need to like redraw it just so the rigor kind of gets the vision of it, and then you put it back. Like, an example is the mouth, you know? A lot of people like the like kind of curved mouth look, but it's really much easier to rig a straight line and then just curve it in live 2D so you can like bend it easier. So then you might need to like redraw the mouth again in the curved expression that it should be rigged to. I hope that kind of makes sense, but yeah, it's very time consuming. A lot of secret pockets that will steal your time that you may not realize. This is the palette cleanser at the very end to brighten our mood after some of the more sadder posts earlier. But this is at least very wholesome to see, where we got to see an artist who is able to raise their prices.